Hey guys, how's it going? This video is for anyone who has purchased or is thinking of purchasing my Hasbro HASLAB Proton Pack plug and play LED harness for the Cyclotron cake um, on my Etsy store, Sticky Graphics Canada. It's basically a quick explanation and kind of a quick how-to. This thing is so simple, hence plug and play. This is the kit here. You get 12 LEDs, and which basically kind of copycat or mimic the 12 LEDs here. There's 3 LEDs, 3 LEDs, 3 LEDs, 3 LEDs. 3 times 4, 12, 12 LEDs. They're data receiving LEDs just like these. And basically what you're doing is with this harness here is you are tapping into the board. So you remove the plug that looks like this, but it'll be in red. That goes to this, and you would plug this in, and then you would take that red plug that you disconnected and plug it into here. So basically you are splicing the data and power and ground from the board and distributing it to the cover and to these LEDs that you're going to be putting inside your Cyclotron cake. Very, very simple. And it also comes with a switch here, so you can turn it on and off. Off when your cover is on, and then before you remove your cover, you can turn it on, or you can just leave it on all the time. These are just 5-volt LEDs. They use up barely any power. It's barely going to drain anything. So really, it's just a nice-to-have feature. The switch won't work until you actually turn on your pack, because the power is coming from the board, and this switch does not have any power. So it really does nothing, and you guys don't have to worry. You're not putting any extra strain on the board. It's just 5 volts. And LEDs are very, very efficient. It will only provide what it is asked for. It will not provide more. If it wants more power, it's just not going to power it at all. So no worries on that. Plug and play, so you don't need to solder or anything, but you do need to do 3 things. And I'm going to show you after I open up this pack. Let me turn this on so you guys can see. Just got to turn on my talent cell here. Oh, so I did relocate my ribbon cable, the removal button thingy. Sorry, I'm at a loss for words right now. Because I changed to I'm gonna turn that down. Because I changed to the Ghostbusters 1 ribbon cable, I just changed the clamp here because the factory plastic clamp cannot handle the thickness of this this ribbon cable. So I moved it here because I didn't want to lose that feature, but now it's shut down. So I gotta turn this back on. I'll have a little bit of sound so you guys can hear. I'll turn it up too loud. So I'll turn it on. Right now it's in 84 mode. We'll remove these. Basically, oh, and also the cover bypass I've integrated now into the harness. The first kits that I sold used a T-clamp because a lot of people didn't want to have that feature. I don't know why, but it was requested when I did an early poll about it, and they wanted the option to be able to leave it or do it themselves. But after I've sold now to people who are actually interested and purchasing it, they want to have it integrated in the harness. So now it is all grounded in the harness, so you don't have to do this T-clamp, so I won't be sending this out. And some people have already done the mod by jumping the 2 grounds, which is totally fine. Having it grounded twice really does nothing. It doesn't hurt nor benefit it, but it is built into the harness. So a lot of people actually already had it done and they didn't even use the clamp. Okay, so now that this thing is going, once I remove the cover, you can see that it is mimicking the cover exactly. Put that back on there. Oops. And there you go. And you can see that it's not shutting down because I have the grounds jumpered, and everything is all good. Okay, so now I'm going to shut it down. And we are going to switch it to Afterlife mode. Oops, I have my Forever On mod on. Let me turn that off. We're going to turn on to Afterlife mode. There you go. Put the cover on, and it mimics it exactly. And you'll even get that whole shutdown sequence. So when I let go of when you disconnect this, this still slows down and turns off. Starts back up. I'll show you it does exactly the same because these LEDs are getting the exact same data that the cover is getting. Slowing down, and then it fades out. So it's perfect. All right, I'm going to set this thing down. So there is a few options with my kit. Just the regular kit is just ready to do everything in this cyclotron. And you don't have to worry. You can see that mine is obviously a 3D printed cover with a clear acrylic frosted glass there. You can use the factory one, no problem. It is quite translucent. You will see everything through it. But I figured if I'm doing it anyways, I might as well get cover and acrylic and just make it look all cool. So I've painted all of this and painted all the wires. But if you don't want to do that, you can use the factory cover. So even though everything here is plug and play and you don't really have to do anything, there are 3 things that you actually, sorry, I don't know why I said you don't have to do anything, but do anything soldering wise and electrical wise. But you have to do 3 physical things, and that is to remove the cover. Just use a thin piece of plastic, maybe a credit card even, that you're not going to use because like an expired one. Guitar pick is my best recommendation. And you put it underneath the lip from the wall, side wall to up the lip, and then you just stick it in there, and then you pry all the way around. But when I say pry, I just mean don't actually pry. You don't want to break the sidewall. You just drag it along the side, all the way around, and that's where it'll break off the glue, and this cover will just pop off just like a lid. And it goes on only one way because there are actual grooves in it, in the cover and on the cake base that it'll fit anyways. Plus you would only line up all the wires anyways, and that's like the molded wires. And there's only one way it goes back on. And it will be a little loose, but once you put this nut back on, it holds everything into place and you are good to go. So that's one thing you got to do. Second thing you got to do is drill a hole in the cyclotron wall. Lots of space in there. I'm going to show you once you take the motherboard, which is the back cover of the Proton pack, off, and how to remove this and drill a hole. And then you would drill a hole while this cake is out in the side. We do it where the nut is, that kind of like big nut looking thing. And that's where you would feed the wires through and then connect. Basically this is going through here. Lots of wire. I gave lots of extras in case. You would then put this switch here. These will be plugged in there. And then these wires will come down and through there. And then once that is through there, you would have all your LEDs in there. That would come out of there. And all you do is plug that in like so. And that's that. And if you don't want to drill such a big hole, what I did was I just snipped off these wings here on this clip. They really are just for grip to pull them off. They do absolutely nothing to hold it in. It's actually this nub here that clips into here. Right? So if you want more to drill a smaller hole, just use the little clippers and clip those off, and you can do a smaller hole. It really doesn't matter. And that is about it. And then another option I have is I can run an extra power wire. So basically from my kit here, I would run another soldered wire from the power and the ground. So red is power, white is ground, green in the middle is the data. So basically you're mimicking these, right? Power, data, ground, and that's ground for the lid that will be jumpered. Yeah, so I would then solder a ground and positive wire there, and then you would, from there, it would probably be somewhere around here where there's lots of space in there, and then you just feed the wires to your LEDs for your panel there, and that's an option. And I have another option where I can provide the actual LEDs there. It'd be 3 green, 3 red, 2 blinking oranges. Pre-wired, I would put a JST connector on there so you can disconnect it, or it would kind of be like a future mod because I'll have another JST on the power and ground coming off of this. So if you don't have that panel yet and it's something you're going to later on do, and then you'll open up your pack, put these LEDs into these LED light holders. I recommend using hot glue, because you don't want these, you're going to go to conventions with this thing, and you don't want these LEDs to fall out, and then you got to open up and do it. Even though it does hold it, I still recommend some hot glue just to secure it. And if you're wondering why it was on, it goes on for about 5 minutes, because that's when the whole pack actually shuts down. That 5 minutes with that little bit of power feeding through it is for if you want to turn on and off the wand. So now it's going into deep sleep mode, and then you would actually have to switch that on again. See, I turned it on from the pack, and then the lights stay on even though it's off. But it'll stay on for 5 minutes because the board has power to it, because it's wondering if you were going to actually turn it on with the wand. Right. But anyways, yes, the 2 blinking orange lights, I have it as 3 mil LEDs instead of 5, because those are the only ones I can get, so you're definitely going to have to hot glue these in anyways. But it is no big deal. It's nothing crazy to do. But super, super simple, plug and play everything. So we have we have 3 things, the regular LEDs in here. The second option is just to have a power cable ready. I will provide the JST connectors with that. So really, when you do get this panel, you'll just have to solder yourself your own LEDs for the panel. And my third option is the whole kit and caboodle. Get everything. You get the cyclotron lights and you get the LED lights for here. Obviously, my kit does not include the panel or the holders or the 3D printed cover or anything here. You're just getting the wiring plug and play kit. So super simple, super easy, looks awesome, as you guys can see. And I know a lot of people are saying that, oh, it's covered, no one's going to see it. But when you do have this like on display at your house or off your back, you want to show people there's more to it than just the outside, because people just think, oh, it's just a physical outside thing. But really, I mean, I feel like this is the showpiece of this whole pack. Like, that's pretty awesome. Like, kind of like a working cyclotron inside your pack. Yeah. All right, so I am going to take a pause from this video. I'm going to put this thing down off the stand, and we're going to open up the motherboard, and I'm going to show you guys how it's all connected and how you can route stuff through. All right, so I'll be right back. Okay, just for you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a brand new pack, because mine's all modified, so it might look a little confusing inside the pack. So I'm going to open up a brand new one, and we're going to open that up, and we're going to do the mod. Yeah, let's do this. Wow. I'm going to have to do a comparison video of before and after with my pack, because I don't recognize this one. Okay, how do we get this thing out of here? Okay, there we go. safely place them down here. Oh, this thing is still heavy. This box is just heavy. They did such a good job with protecting this Proton pack and shipping. Okay, I'll put this back down on the table. Yeah, wow, geez. This thing looks like a completely different pack. Definitely going to do a comparison video later on. That's pretty cool. I don't remember the hose being like this. Again, I don't remember a lot of this stuff. This thing here. Wow, okay, back on track. We are going to open this thing up. So I'm going to reposition the camera, and we're going to open this thing up and see what we got. All right, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, here we are, up close and personal with the Proton pack. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove this, because this bolt actually bolts into the back of the motherboard, which is, when I refer to motherboard, that is the back plate of the Proton. All right, you want to remove all this. Take this off. And, oh yes, I remember. This thing is press fitted in. Mine, I have a magnet on it. So you're going to have to pull this off. Like so. And this comes off. There's the stock Cyclotron cake. You're going to want to remove the cake as well, because this bolt is part of, this bolt, this is the nut. This bolt is part of the Cyclotron. Not the Cyclotron, obviously it's part of the Cyclotron. This bolt is part of the motherboard. And this is the cover here. So what you're going to do is, see this lip here? You're going to take a guitar pick, you're going to stick it inside there, and you're going to drag it all the way around this lip. Drag it, do not pry. This is so thin, you don't want to stress mark it. You go all the way around, and then you'll hear all the glue cracking. Crack, 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 all the way around, and then boom, this thing will just pop right on. It's very, very simple. And it'll only fit one way. You just line up the wires, and it just pops on. And it will be slightly loose. It will have kind of a positive hold, but once you put it on and put this nut on, it just holds it all in place. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. And then where you will drill holes, I drilled a hole right here. Start small, use a small drill bit just to pilot hole it, then use one step up, not one step up, but like a few steps up, and then until you get it nice and smooth, because you don't want to be drilling and it slips all the way around. A nice pilot hole would work very, very nicely, and it'll go a long way to having a clean install. We'll put these on the floor here. And now you are ready to flip the pack over. Like so. We're going to start removing screws. There are 17 screws here. And I'm going to show you those right now, and then I'm going to probably time-lapse me taking out these screws. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the 3 hidden ones. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 screws, okay? 17. So, let's get going, shall we? You're going to want to use a Phillips number 1. This one's fine. I just was lucky to have one. A lot of people are having troubles with it actually fitting inside, but this one's no problem. All right, so let's get to it. Okay, I think I got all the screws out. Just a note, these two screws here, the deep ones, well, the one deep one and this one, not so deep. This one's deep. That's the hidden one that Adam Savage had a problem with. But this one, they actually hold the two tubes in the front. So they'll fall off like so. So you just gotta make sure that you line them up. They only go on one way. There's a groove in it, and then you just put them in, and then the screws will go right back in. So just be worried about that. On my pack, I just screwed them directly into the board here with some washers and stuff. So I've been taking the motherboard on and off a lot. And those things get annoying when they keep dropping. So once I got that secured, I've never had an issue. Okay, so let's open this thing up. You just want to kind of pry it from the sides. Opening this door helps a little bit. And voila, it is off. And then that's the D-cell battery wires there. That's what's holding that on there. So you just kind of set it off to the side, like so, without putting too much stress on those wires. I'll just lean it up against there. Well, maybe I'll put it up here so it won't block anything that we're doing. Okay. Maybe we will turn this. Not sure if we can see everything here. So I am going to reposition the camera and yeah, we'll get a bird's eye view. All right, be right back. Okay guys, we have the bird's eye view now. I'm going to show you how to remove the cyclotron housing. It's just 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to unscrew this. 1. It's going to tip over. 2. 3. And oops, sorry, 4. What I'm noticing on this pack is actually on my pack, they had glued some of these because I think that they stripped it. And this one's actually perfect. Kind of jealous. Okay, and that's it. See, pack comes off. You can like undo some of this masking tape that they use there. So that is your cyclotron housing. And where I drilled my hole is right here. Right in between this pillar and where the turbine is here. And you just drill it right through there. Big enough hole that this cable will go through. Just literally go right through there into the cyclotron housing area. So you got plenty of wire there anyways. And for kind of movie accuracy, there is some wires that actually come out of the side of the wall in the movie. A lot thicker, mind you, probably 16 to 12 gauge to 10 gauge wiring, but this kind of mimics it, so you don't have to worry if it looks like out of place. So yeah, you just drill the hole through there and it comes through. I have seen some people, let me put this back on, run the cable through here. I have not done it. I don't know how it works. You might have to like shave off a lip here or cut kind of like a half circle so the wires can go through, and you can do it that way. So you're still kind of drilling, so it doesn't really matter. I still recommend going through the cyclotron side. All right, so, but I'll show you here for now. That is the main board. You're gonna locate this red connector, and this red connector goes all the way down to here. And down here is the grounds and the data and the power for the cyclotron lid LEDs. And that's basically what we're tapping into over there. All right. So before with my T-tap, you would literally just tap. We would separate. I'll do it here. Well, actually, I don't want to do it because it's brand new. You would separate these brown and black wires from the cabling, and then you would clamp my T-tap onto it, which I don't have around here. I thought I had one. Let me go grab one for you. Yeah, so you'd separate those wires out, so it would look like two wires like this, right? But it'd be the black and brown, and then you would just separate them so they're two individuals, so they'll go into one, into the other, and you clamp it down, and then it would jump it with these, because T-clamp. That's how they work. And that's it. But now with my new harnesses, they are jumpered already here. All the grounds and the ground for the new LEDs. Okay, so that is that. I'm going to put this back here, and then we will get with showing you how to install this stuff. The reason why they put this masking here, so just in case they don't float over the screw hole there and get clamped down or a screw goes through it, I would leave it in there. Okay, and then, yes, oh, so I don't know, like, because I have options, oh no, I just ripped that. It's okay, I got lots of masking tape. Just to show you guys, if you guys are going to do the taco belly mod panel, that's that panel there, you would switch that out. And how you do that is you remove the rest of these screws, and then this plate here separates, and then that piece slides out, and you slide in the new one. And then you can see that that's the plate there with the switches. So lots of room here when you want to do your LEDs. When they fit back here. Make sure when you put this cake back in, or the cyclotron housing back in, that none of the wires in the way. You don't want to clip anything, because when you screw it down, there's quite a bit of force, and you don't want any to get pinched. All right, so I'll put that back. That. So yes, the taco belly housing is right here. Right? Okay, so let's get to it. And before we do anything, I highly recommend that you turn off your Talon cell or take out your D-cell batteries, just as a precaution. You do not want to accidentally short something on there and then you fry your board, right? No power, no problem. Unless you actually want to use your power, but that's not the case here. We are going to be working on this. So you take my kit like so, and then you look at, this is your main board here. You look for the red connector. That is the connector that goes to the lid there. Right? So again, red is power, yellow is data, black and brown are ground. Black is ground for the LEDs, brown is the ground for the lid shutdown. All right, so what you're going to do is gently pull, do not pull from the wires, pull from the actual connector. You want to gently do it. I found that with some of these connectors, you just kind of wiggle it out, you know, firmly. Boom, you got it out. I find that some people who are pulling really hard, this base connector does kind of lift up from it. So just be wary of it, just be conscious about it. If it comes off, it doesn't matter, you just push it back in. It's just a guide for this. There's only one way this can go in. There are two grooves right here, and they fit into the two grooves on there. So you cannot put it in backwards unless you really force it, and you will probably break something. Okay, so now you can see that these two connectors are identical. Just one is red and one is white. And you see the red there, that's power, and that is power. So that's exactly how you want to go in. My wires are not color-coded, but yes. All right, so now you take the new harness, plug it in to the board like so. Only goes one way, there's a positive click. Then you take your the old connector that you just disconnected from there. Look at all this masking tape coming off everywhere. And you plug it in to my harness, which is the same kind of plug that was on the base of this board. So there you go. Plug it in there. You can see red matches with the red power. So we know that everything is correct. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to locate where the dummy switch is. Sorry, I had to reposition the camera there. So you're going to locate this dummy switch right here. It's just 2 screws. This is where I recommend that you guys put the switch. And it literally just pops up like so. Get those screws out of there. And then you can take out the dummy switch there. Some people leave it in, but you got to really finesse it. You got to figure out where to position the switch in or out. And you can leave this off, honestly. And then you would take my switch here. Take off all the little nuts and bolts and stuff and washers. I just leave it in there in case you want to relocate it somewhere else. Some people put it on the side of the back. Some people put it down there. I don't think mine will reach. Actually, it will, but you're going to have to do some modding. But this is meant to actually go into this switch position here. Okay, so you're going to take your switch here. This is the top of the switch with the 2 teeth there. And you're just going to slide the switch in like so. And after you've slid it in like so, you're going to take this, like right now it's loose, it fits nicely. You can just hit it with some hot glue, but I really recommend using this because you see that little nub there? That's what's going to grab onto the side of that. So you're going to put that on facing downwards, or like towards the top of the switch. Like so. And you're going to put in the lock washer. And then you're going to take your nut, screw it down. You would tighten that down with like some pliers or something, but I'm just doing this for demo purposes. So you see that? It's just right on the wall. So once you pull that through, it will pull through because there is some springiness on that. It will pull through, and because it's facing upwards, it will not pull back forward. It will hold very, very well. But just in case, I would still hit it with some hot glue. We could put this on there, and it will. And you can slide it on and off like that. I recommend not doing that. Just leaving the switch out like that is pretty cool. You'll actually have a metal switch like that. And right now it's already partially in, and I can't get it out now. So it's out. And that's that. And then you would reinstall that right there. And you put in your 2 screws. That's it for that switch. You know what? I will leave it in there for now because we are going to test this and show you guys afterwards. Put it in a little bit so it's actually working. I'll put in screws. I'll just put in one, move it after. But basically, I feel the switch there. Easy on and off. Okay, so now that that is done, you are going to, where's my cable here? There it is there. So lots of space there to go into that switch. You are going to now route this down, put it underneath here. You're going to route this down this way. And this is where you would have drilled your hole over here. Actually, I'm sorry, you guys can't see. Okay, so basically you're going to route it through here. Yeah, lots of space here. If you have some tape, I would tape it to the wall here so you don't have to worry about it moving around and getting clipped or something. Put it in there. You're going to have this cake loose. Fish it underneath there. Fish it over here. There's some cable holders there. You can put it there. They also put some masking tape there. You could probably lift that up, mask it there. And it would reach right to there with lots of slack. I mean, you can go much further in like so. But you would have your hole drilled here, and basically it would go through that hole into the cyclotron cake. Or again, I've never done it, but people have kind of opened that semicircle there, feed it through here. Lots of slack on the wire, it will reach. You have no problem whatsoever. And once that goes in, you're going to take your cyclotron cake LEDs. I mean, the lead from the LEDs, because you would have already installed it in the cyclotron. You pop it up, and you just hot glue these in the pairs of 3. Right, this would be the beginning. Put these 3 together, these 3 together, these 3 together, these 3 together, 3 together. They're all sectioned off already inside the cake. So you can see from the picture, that's how they go. You can just hot glue them in, or you can just, some people just throw them in there as long as they're all, 3 of them are in each compartment, and it works just as fine. So now you will fish out this cable from the cyclotron cake, and then you would just join them together. Positive click, white, green, red, all matches up. And then what you're going to do is you are going to turn back on your talent cell, or you are going to put your D cell batteries back in. Good thing I still have D cell batteries. Put that in. I forgot how heavy these things are. Oh, I guess it was already on. Oh, I don't know what just happened there. Okay, where is the switch? Switch over here. So bypass is working, motor is going, and oh, I have to turn on the switch. Boom. Switch is turned on. Turn off the switch, the lights turn off. Turn on the switch, the lights turn on. That motor is actually quite annoying when the cover's not on. So we're going to shut this pack down. And we're going to switch from afterlife mode and turn off the motor to switch from afterlife mode to 84 mode. And we will turn off, I don't know if I turned off the LEDs, but let's see. Yeah, the LEDs are off. It is in 84 mode. We're going to turn on the LEDs now. And you get that whole sequence. And then I can locate the ribbon cable clamp. I'm going to take that off. And you have the shutdown sequence. Fades out. Flip it back on. And there you go. Everything's done. Very, very simple, easy plug and play kit. Everything is set up for you. You really had to do nothing except do the 3 things. Take off the cyclotron cover, drill the hole in the cyclotron housing, and drill a hole in the cyclotron cake, and you're good to go. And then later on, if you, depending if that's all you want to do, if you wanted to get the kit that has the leads to do the powered panel for the 3D printed panel, basically I would have a JST connector on the positive and negative. You can do this later on, very, very simple. You can use even the T-clamp. You would use that positive on the positive and negative. Do not do the green. Positive, which would be red. Negative is the white. Clamp those into there because you would separate them. And then you would take your LED string like this and put them into there. This side is positive, that side's negative. That's top is positive, bottom is negative. You can see where it reaches inside, goes to this one, and this bottom one goes down to this one. So make sure you check those connections when you do it. And then once you have that in, it'll power those up. And then you just plug them into your 3D printed panel. Easy peasy. You can either get my kit with the LEDs all pre-wired in, or you can get it with just the power there, and you get the 2 JST connectors. And all you need to do later on when you get your LEDs, you can just solder the JST to that, or you can just cut off my JST connector and use a T-clamp. So it's solderless again, and that's pretty much it. Again, I'm going to shut down the pack with it on, and you can see how it shuts down. Everything shuts down. Turn it back on, it turns on. Or if I turn it out with my switch, nothing will work. I'll turn it off, turn it back on. It's not running. So when you have the cover on, you can save some power, I guess. And before you turn off your cover, you switch it back on. You can see the cool lights inside your Cyclotron cake. So that's it. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Can't believe I just said that on camera. But very simple to do. Plug and play kit. Check it out on my Etsy store. Sticky Graphics Canada. 3 options. And happy modding. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye. I just want to show you guys how that switch is jammed in there with just that nub if you don't want to use any glue. Right now it's in there and I cannot push it forward and barely backwards to pull it through. So you are good if you don't want to use glue, to be honest. I'm going to use a screwdriver and push it. And you can see that that nub in there is really jammed up against that wall there. So as long as you have this nut screwed in tight and it's holding that, and that nub is facing towards the top of the switch, you're good to go. It is jammed in there. So you'd want to have it about sticking out about this far, 1 or 2 millimeters if you want to use the switch. If it's too far front forward, if you're not going to use that cover, this cover won't work because it is very shallow. So you just find this groove here, fits into this groove here, and it will move on and off if you want to do it that way. And then you just install it back the way it is. So yeah, that's just a little note that I wanted to add at the end of the video. And yeah, thanks again for your purchase, and purchase if you're thinking about purchasing. All right, thanks for the support.